The wind is a blade, carving the breath from her lungs. Light lies flat, a smear of ochre and hide against the frozen granite. Her world reduced to the space between two withered pines. Below, in the basin of the valley, is the fire of the others. It is a fact, orange heart pumping smoke into the grey sky, a beacon of dominance. They move around it, the thick-boned people, their forms broad and powerful, draped in heavy pelts. They are life million years ago, a testament to endurance. Light watches their shadows dance, long and distorted in the fading light. They are strong. Their chests are barrels, their arms thick cords of muscle, heaving chunks of mammoth onto the pyre. There is no haste in their movements, no fear. This valley is theirs. It has been for 1,000 generations. Light pulls back from the ledge, a ghost melting into the deeper shadows. The cold is a predator, stalking the marrow of her bones. She moves with a lean hunter's grace, her feet finding purchase on the icy scree without a sound. Her clan is hidden a half-day's walk away, tucked into a fissure in the rock that bleeds the warmth from their small, hungry soil. They are new here, refugees from the advancing ice sheets of this endless glacial period, trespassers in an unknown hell. They are smaller, their bones more gracile, their strength a flickering candle against the bonfire of their cousins. The tools of the others, a powerful and unchanging Moustarian industry. Bitter they camp, heavy, brutal, and effective. When Night returns, she does not grunt or point. She kneels before the elder. Tail, and the sounds begin. A low, rhythmic clicking describes the jagged peaks guarding the valley. A soft, flowing vowel paints the path of the river, now frozen solid. A series of sharp, guttural bursts conveys the number of hunters, their heavy spears, the way they move as a singular, powerful unit. This is the weapon you cannot see. It is not stone, not bone, but a tapestry of sound woven in the air. A tool for building a shared picture inside the minds of others, tailor-sized, dark and deep set, follow not her hands, but the intricate dance of her meaning. This is a critical moment in human evolution. The group huddles closer, their faces illuminated by the meager flames. Absorbing the report, they understand the tactical reality. To challenge the thick-boned people is to be broken against them. They have tried before, in other valleys. In the time before the long winter, they have learned that strength against strength is a fool's wager. The hard choice is not to fight, but to think. Their survival depends not on the power of the arm, but on the ability to weave a plan from whispers, to anticipate, to misdirect. The greatest fear is not the saber-tooth that stalks the twilight, but the quiet, methodical presence of other, stronger ancient humans who hold the key to this frozen world. They will not attack the fortress. They will find a way to move the river. The planning takes days, etched onto a flat piece of slate with a shard of charcoal. It is a map of the mind, a physical manifestation of symbolic thought. Kale, the elder, traces the lines with a bony finger, his voice a low rasp against the wind's howl. A spiral for their own camp, a heavy cross for the camp of the others, a series of chevrons representing the flow of the caribou migration, an ancient pulse of life these early humans depend upon. But Kale draws a new path, a sharp, unnatural turn, diverting the chevrons into a narrow, treacherous ravine. The clan is gathered, not in a silent circle of understanding, but in a dynamic exchange of information. Li'at-Asqua. Bird-like sounds direct the map's topography. A young hunter, Dur, uses his hands to describe the wind's prevailing direction in the ravine. A woman, Mara, adds a symbol for a deadfall, a place where the beasts will be forced to sow. This is the invisible weapon in action, a collaborative architecture of the future, built from shared concepts. It's a glimpse into the deep history of our human ancestors. The response is not a charge, but a meticulous dispersal. To use a scent with fire-hardened branches to an unstable cliff face far upriver from the Neanderthal camp. Their task is not to attack, but to wait for a signal and create a thunderous distraction. Night leads another small group to the opposite ridge. Their forms like grey wolves against the snow, ready to guide the herd with shouts and thrown stones. The main hunting party, led by Bo, secretes themselves within the chosen ravine. They do not carry the heavy, close-quarter spears of their rivals. They clutch something new, a product of their more pliable minds, a piece of primitive technology that is an extension of the arm itself. The outlet, a simple lever of wood, will turn a man into a long-range force of death. They practice in the days prior, the whip crack of the spear thrower echoing in the frozen air, their projectiles sinking deep into packed snow targets from a distance the thick-boned people cannot comprehend. The signal comes as a plume of smoke, barely visible against the bruised sky. Below, the lead caribou catch a scent, a sound, a shift in the air that is wrong. The ATS team begins its work, their calls mimicking a predator's cry, pushing the herd away from its ancestral path. Simultaneously, the rockside upstream thunders, a roar of displaced earth that draws the eyes of the Neanderthal hunters toward the wrong threat. The great river of Antler hesitates, then turns. It flows into the trap. For a moment, there is only the sound of hoods on stone. Then bar rises. The air fills with a succession of sharp cracks. Spears, light and deft, etched with raven feathers, arc with impossible speed and accuracy, striking the vital organs of the panicked beasts. The caribou fall, piling up in the narrow pass. It is over in moments. It is not a battle. It is a harvest. A harvest won by a map drawn in charcoal, by a story told in the cold, by a weapon that kills from a place of safety. As the clan descends to claim their prize, the scent of blood rich on the wind, Lyot looks back towards the valley of the others. Their fire still burns, but now it seems smaller, a flickering ember of a world that does not know it is already becoming a memory. The weeks that follow are a study in abundance and silence. The ravine is a larder of frozen meat, enough to see them through the harshest moons of the coming winter. The clan's fire burns high and bright, a stark contrast to the small, furtive flame they had nursed in their cliffside fissure. They have wealth beyond measure, hides for new clothes, sinew for bindings, fat to render for lighting war. Yet, there is no celebration. The victory feels incomplete, strangely hollow. Every day, from the ridge, they watch the other camp. The smoke from the thick-boned people's fired windows. It becomes a thin, grey thread, then a wispy question mark. And finally, nothing, for 3-4 days. The sky above their camp remains clear, unmarred by any sign of life. The silence from across the valley is absolute, a pressure that builds in the ears. It is Kale who makes the decision. He takes Lyot and Bar, not as a war party, but as witnesses. They move slowly, cautiously, down into the basin, their light spears held ready. The approach to the camp is eerie. There are no sentries, no shouts of challenge. The only sound is the crunch of their own feet on the snow. What they find is not a scene of battle, but of slow, quiet starvation. Heavy stone tools, the pride of their Mousterian industry, lie scattered, their purpose lost. Gnawed bones of a snow hare are piled near the cold fire pit, a desperate meal for hunters used to feasting on mammoth. This is the brutal calculus of this ancient history, a silent extinction event playing out on a miniature scale. They have won the valley, not by killing their rivals, but by stealing their food source, by occupying a more advanced cognitive niche. Their superior survival skills were not of the body, but of the mind. In the back of the shallow rock shelter, they find it. A single body, an old female, laid carefully in a shallow depression. Her arms are crossed over her chest. Beside her head is a perfectly shaped, unused flint hand axe and the wing of a great eagle. It is a gesture of care, a final, futile act of reverence for one of their own. It is a flicker of a familiar humanity, a heartbreaking echo of their own rituals. They stand there for a long time. 3 Homo sapiens, looking at the last of a different kind of people. There is no triumph here, only a profound and unsettling sorrow. The greatest fear is not being hunted, but being the last ones left. If you find yourself compelled to trace these shadows back to their source, to stand with us in the silence and bear witness, then lend your mark to this chronicle. They leave the grave untouched, a silent monument to a people outthought, not outfought. They're passing a quiet footnote in the epic of hominid history as they walk back to their own warm, well-stocked camp. The victor feels like a thief, and the silence of the valley sounds, for the first time, like loneliness. This was not a singular event. Across the vast, frozen canvas of Pleistocene Europe, this same quiet drama played out in 1,000 hidden valleys and windswept plains. The weapon was never the sharpness of the stone, but the complexity of the thought behind it. Language, the ability to build a shared future inside the minds of the group, was an advantage no amount of muscle could overcome. It allowed our ancestors to plan, to strategize, to create vast social networks that could absorb shocks and share innovations. They did not conquer the world with their fists. They inherited it with their voices. This is the foundation upon which everything we are is built. Our cities, our laws, our stories, our gods. They are all grand, intricate structures woven from the same invisible thread of shared belief and complex communication first used to divert a herd of caribou. We stand today as the sole inheritors of this planet, the last hominid left. But as we look out into the silence of the cosmos, we might ask ourselves, in our undisputed victory, in becoming the only ones left to tell the story, what vital parts of the human experience were ended forever extinct? This is the Chronicler. Listen closely. The past is never silent. It only waits for a quiet mind to hear its echo. Next, a footprint on an island that should not be there.